Okay, now let's analyze everything that happened on the island this episode. Looks like the man in black brought Sawyer from the cave to join Jin and Claire's hut. Flock comes back with 18 other people, including Sayid and Kate. Crazy Flair goes inside and tucks in the fugly skeleton doll that she thinks is Aaron. Man, what an insult to Aaron. Claire tells Kate that she made this makeshift doll because that's all she had. Obviously still mad at Kate. Flock tells everyone that they should move while it's still daylight. On the way, Kate asks Sawyer if he's now with Locke, and Sawyer's like, I'm not with anybody. Kate was asking for different reasons probably. The group stops to camp and Sawyer asks, when are we getting off this rock? Flock is bugged that he was interrupted and tells him that in private. Sawyer sarcastically says he's sorry, and they make a point of Flock saying, I forgive you. They make a big point of having the man in black say, I forgive you. Now remember back in season 3, as Siamey, the man in black tried to get Echo to seek forgiveness and killed him when Echo said that he in fact wasn't sorry. It's almost like Jacob equals fate, and that when he touches you, you're fated to go to the island. Maybe that makes the man in black free will. Like I just said, he was able to judge Echo looking back into his past and seeing the choices that he made. Now an idea is that maybe with Jacob dead, there's no more fate, or so we think. Flock admits to Sawyer that he is the smoke monster, and explains why he killed all the people back at the temple, because they didn't follow him, and thought that they were protecting the island from him, when all he wanted to do was just leave. Kill or be killed, as he says. However, be killed seems questionable. Flock then takes Sawyer to the shore, where they can see Hydra Island in the background. He wants Sawyer to be a recon and find out information about the people over there, who Flock claims mean to do harm to all of them. He also says that the Ajira plane is over there. The man in black says that Sawyer's the best liar he knows, and will have no trouble gaining their trust. Funny, because in the Flash Sideways, he's a terrible liar, as Ava, Charlotte, and Miles all point out. I definitely think Flock knows about Widmore's group being there, and probably means that those are the people that mean to do them all harm. He also probably knows that Sawyer will gain the trust of Widmore, as we'll see later. The man in black wants Sawyer to do all this so that they can use the plane to get off the island. So Sawyer goes over to Hydra Island, passes by his old sex cage, and finds the plane. And on a side note, the tail number of the plane here is N9748C. But that's weird because it was N25705 here all the other times we saw the plane. But in the distance, he sees a pile of dead bodies. He also finds a scared, lone woman named Zoe, who says that she's the last survivor of Flight 316. And Sawyer questions her a lot, including where she was flying to. And when she says, Guam, yeah, Guam, he knows she's lying and pulls a gun on her, but it was all a setup, and she whistles as 4 men with guns pop up and take him as prisoner. This is also very similar to the Flash Sideways in this episode, just a little bit different. Sawyer says a single word, and Ava is surrounded by men with guns. And here, Zoe makes a single sound, and Sawyer is surrounded by men with guns. And it's a funny coincidence too. This episode was first shown on March 16th, or 3/16. And this episode goes over the fate of the people on Flight 316. So let's go back to the main island. Kate talks with Sayid and asks him if he's okay, and he says that he isn't. Clearly, he's not in the full darkness servant zombie mode now, like Rousseau's team was. Claire decides it's a good time to play some football and tackles her from behind. She wants to kill her so bad. Kate yells to Sayid for help, but he looks like he could care less. And Big Bad Flock comes over, grabs Claire, and literally throws her like a medicine ball and yells to her that Kate did what she had to do when she couldn't find Claire. Then, because of her inappropriate behavior, he pimp slaps the hell out of her so she can learn a lesson.
There's a new joke going around. Have you heard it? What does the 5 fingers say to the face?
What?
Slap! Bang, bang! I'm Rick James, bitch.
Kate runs off and cries, sobbing like Sawyer and Jack both died or something, and Flock comes to comfort her. And it's weird too, Kate's crying in the middle of some banyan trees, in the roots of some banyan trees, and then Smokey/Flock comes to join her and comfort her. Now if you watched my Smoke Monster recap, I think it was in season 4 or something, I showed that there's many cases where Smokey can't penetrate inside the roots of banyan trees, but he does here. He says it was his fault, that he lied to Claire, saying that the others had Aaron to give her something to hate and to keep her going. She claims that that's pretty wise coming from a dead man. to which he proclaims that he will keep her and everyone else safe, and that everything will be alright. Flock takes her to the shore and points to Hydra Island where Sawyer is. He says that he's not a dead man like she claimed a little bit ago, and that he knows what Kate is feeling because his own mother was crazy, just like Claire. He says that a long, long time ago, probably in a galaxy far, far away, he had a mother who was very disturbed, causing him to undergo many growing pains, pains that he's still dealing with, which could have been avoided if things happened differently. When Kate asks why he told her that, he says it's because now Aaron has a crazy mother too. Okay, now let's talk for a little bit about what the Man in Black just told us here. What does he mean by growing pains? And what about his mother? I'll go over some different ideas. One of the many ideas that some people have had is that the Man in Black could be one and the same as Jacob. Maybe the growing pains he's referring to is just his personality or soul being split in two, literally becoming Jacob and the Man in Black manifested. Maybe it's a little bit like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, where one personality eventually takes over the other. And again, that's just one idea out there, but another idea that I've talked about in some past recaps is that the Man in Black and Jacob could actually be brothers. Now, we've seen hundreds of biblical references throughout the show, so maybe it'll be revealed later on that the Man in Black's real name is actually Esau. And again, I think I mentioned it in the last recap of season 5, so I won't get into it too much here, but Jacob and Esau are brothers in the Bible, with their parents being Isaac and Rebekah. Esau wanted to kill Jacob in the Bible, and if that translates over to Lost, it would be the exact same thing. Another big idea that a lot of people are having, especially after this conversation between the Man in Black and Kate, is that Aaron is actually the nemesis, the Man in Black. The way he was talking about Aaron to Kate could be a clue to her and to us about who he really is. We all know from the first season how crucial it was that Claire and only Claire raised Aaron. Maybe it's Aaron grown up and he's gone way in the past to try to change his past. Maybe by kidnapping Claire, he's trying to change his past and prevent Claire from raising him, if it is true that he is Aaron. But we all know that it was a kidnapping that caused Claire to lose Aaron and her mind as well. And if she wasn't kidnapped, she wouldn't have lost Aaron and she wouldn't have gone crazy. So if this theory is true that the Man in Black is actually Aaron who's gone way in the past to try to change his past, maybe he caused what he was trying to prevent, similar to what Miles was telling Jack last season about the incident. Remember back in the first season, the psychic told Claire that it was imperative that she alone raised Aaron and that her goodness be in Aaron's life, and that if it wasn't, the consequences would be terrible. Now, if the Man in Black is actually Aaron, or his name is Esau, this could be why the writers are being so secretive about releasing his name. I mean, if his name was like Bob or something, we'd know it by now. Basically, every relevant character on the show has parent issues. Most of them are daddy issues. A lot of them are mommy issues too, and 5 cases to be exact. And we find out this episode that Flock has issues with his mother, Aaron with Claire, Alex with Danielle, Daniel with Eloise Hawking, and then the real Locke with his mom. Another random idea is that because Locke claimed that he had a troubled childhood due to his mom, maybe the fertility issues on the island are somehow caused by him. Maybe it's to make sure that no child would suffer the way he did.